Yo, what's going on, people? I'd like to welcome everybody to my new YouTube channel. Welcome. If you haven't did so yet, please subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification button so you'll know when I put up another video, guys. So, guys, welcome to my video. This is my first video, man, on my new channel. And I wanted to make a video on telling you who I am and so you can get familiar with me. This channel is going to be about side hustles and other ways to make money in these difficult times that we live in. You know, it's a lot going on right now. Uh, Government shut down, people losing their benefits, possibly people losing their Section 8, and we're living in some financially rough times. The market is taking a beating. If you're investing in ETFs or cryptocurrency, that's taking a beating. So I wanted to make this video to let everybody get familiar with me. So yeah, I'm born and raised, you know what I'm saying, from Buffalo, New York. My name is DeAndre, and grew up in some hard times, some ups and downs in Buffalo. Buffalo is a place where it's kind of similar to Cleveland. Um, Pretty similar cities. Cleveland and Buffalo. At one point in time, Buffalo was a promising city, just like Cleveland, with uh, plenty of jobs, factory jobs, um, and over the years and throughout the 60s and the 50s and 60s, Buffalo was the place to be. A lot of entertainers came to Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of famous people from Buffalo. You got the cats from Griselda Records is from Buffalo. You got Rick James. You got Brian McKnight. You got the Google Dolls. These are all people from Buffalo. So a lot of people don't know that, but Buffalo is a blue collar city that it could be a promising city if the funds were put into the city like it should be. But it's a blue collar city. The winters are brutal. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, if you don't have a job before winter hits, it's kind of tough to find employment. You know, because the winters are so bad in Buffalo. I mean, they're brutal, very brutal, and Buffalo's a rough city. Like, I know there's a lot of rough cities out there besides Buffalo, but I'm just speaking on my experience of, growing up, being a Buffalonian and being born and raised from Buffalo. Buffalo is rough, man. It's not a lot of opportunities. Throughout my life, I've, been homeless, dealt with that. Um, Grew up in sort of like a single family home at times. My stepdad, he was around, but he ended up um, getting addicted to drugs. So, in the beginning, when he met my mom's, you know what I'm saying, it was cool. Things were great financially, but then, the drugs took over, which the drugs took over for a lot of people that's still struggling from, the addiction of, the crack era of the 80s. And Buffalo went through the same thing in the 80s. So I had to grow up through that, the crack era in the 80s, horrible weather, the gangs, you know what I'm saying? You got tons of gangs in Buffalo now. And, you had Sly Green doing his thing, running through the city, causing terror in the 80s. So I had to live through that, and Buffalo is a place to where if you can make out of Buffalo, you can do you can make it anywhere. You know what they say about New York City. Like New York City is like the big brother. You know what I'm saying? And like Buffalo is like the little step cousin to New York City. So uh, we're not really recognized as being part of New York when it's coming from downstate New York. You know what I'm saying? They don't really recognize upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? Like Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, Albany, and all the other upstate New York places. we're considered like the stepchilds of of New York State. But New York State is rough because taxes are off the what, gun laws are strict, and it's just New York State as a whole is just rough. You know, especially I can imagine what the people are going through in New York City. Dealing with the cost of living. You know, Buffalo is going through a somewhat similar thing that New York City is going through now because of the high cost of living that's going through the country. Cost of living is going up. Uh, Everything is going up. Rent's going up. Uh, uh, Insurance is going up. Food is going up. So this is why I wanted to make this channel. To help people find other ways to bring in some extra income into their household. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to make you rich. I'm not going to be on here talking about these things are going to make you millions of dollars. Which anything's possible, man, if you put your mind to it. And the key is when you want to do something, you have to be consistent. I mean, I uh, uh, try to express this as much as possible to people because people get into programs, people get into side hustles, and they get excited about them. And once the excitement wears off, they no longer lose. They no longer have interest in whatever they're trying to accomplish, which is whether it's financially or a job or. And I feel like people today are not consistent with anything, whether that's a job, whether that's a relationships, whether that is a side hustle, whether that is a small business. I feel like people are not consistent. Everybody wants everything to be so instant. You know what I'm saying? And when you dealing with um, you know, like home businesses, it takes time to grow these things. It takes time for you to see the outcome of your hard work. And this is what this channel is going to be all about, man. Helping people, uh, putting out great content that can, show people the way to online marketing. Like I've been at this on and off since probably 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. On and off, the ups and downs of life kind of like threw me off to where I couldn't consistently stay with it. But I've learned a lot of things over the years of online marketing and you know offline marketing. So I learned some things not only on my own but from other people who are having lots of success with offline marketing, like mailing out. Like people think that snail mail is dead, and it's not. It's alive and well, and I have the resources that can get people going with you know starting their own flyer business. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, I grew up and raised back to my beginning point because I kind of got off track, but born and raised from Buffalo, man, and I went through trials and tribulations just like everybody else that's going through trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? I've dealt with, you know, losing loved ones. I've dealt with being homeless at times. You know what I'm saying? Dealt with being homeless multiple times as a young child and as a teenager and as an adult. And one thing I always did was I always bounced back and I never gave up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of people I want on my team that join me. People that won't give up. You know what I'm saying? The people are gonna make something happen, and that's what I always strive to do is make something happen. And being from Buffalo has taught me those things to not blame anyone else for my position in life. Is you have to, and then I also learned that from my moms and watching my uncles prosper and do their thing, and they never asked nobody for anything. And my my grandpops as well. You know, he was a business owner. He owned his own businesses, and he had a trucking business, and he owned a laundromat. And so I'm trying to get back to where our our great grandparents did things. You know, owning their own business, being self sufficient and self reliant. That's where I'm trying to get to in my life at this point, to be able to have the freedom to do what I want. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the things I've learned over the years on online and offline marketing, that I will succeed, because I'm the type of person that likes to not like, but I will stay consistent with something until I see the results of my goals. And that's the whole purpose of this channel. It's not only to achieve financial freedom, but also to help people along the way as well, who really want to learn how to market online. And it's very simple, guys. It's very simple. Um, and that's pretty much it that I want to discuss in this first video on who I am. You know, like I said, grew up in some tough times in Buffalo. You know, and graduated from Kensington High, man, in 1996. And you know, I was always that type of kid that teachers always said things to me that I felt like I can do a lot better. They always say, "Oh, you're great with your hands. You can be a mechanic," and stuff like that. And I always took that as a burning desire to achieve more, you know. And I will do that. So follow me on this journey on YouTube and watch my progress and my ups and my downs and my success and my not success, because there's going to be ups and downs with this. There's going to be times where you're like, man, this is not working, but you got to push through it. You know what I'm saying? That's the key to being successful online, offline, whatever business you're doing, whatever job you're doing, relationships, anything, career. You have to be consistent. You got to stick with it. And that's what type of people I want on my team. That's willing to stick with it, learn, learn with me. You know, we live in a new age now, with there's a lot of new things I have to learn as well. You know, some of the old tricks still work, you know, but I have to learn some new tricks too as well. So follow me on this journey, guys. So that's my take. Thank you for tuning into my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned, man. I got some good content that's gonna be coming out real soon. So please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button so you'll know when I put up another video. Peace. Take care, guys.